Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we got some breaking news. The DNC, desperate DNC, D as in for desperate, has elected their new leader, and that is Ken Martin. Martin, a Tim Walz acolyte, Red Eagle Politics has said it best, is become the new chairman. And I'll tell you, what a big mistake. And obviously, they had a whole string of bad candidates to begin with. The whole ideology of the Democratic Party has become very unpopular. The Democrats used to be the party of the working man, the working class, an anti-war, non-interventionist political party. And it's pretty much now become a political party that's only in the favors of elitists and oligarchs. I say oligarchs because the Democratic Party wants you to believe that we're, the Republican Party, are the party of oligarchs. Well, that's simply not true. In fact, you have Kamala Harris being bought and sold by Mark Cuban. Maybe the best example would be the fact that the oligarchs in the Democratic Party, Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, forced Joe Biden, who rightfully won the 2024 primaries, 14 million votes, with 80%, over 80% of the popular vote coming out to go for Joe Biden. They forced him out. They rigged the own primary. It's not only that, that's not the only example of who Democrats really are. They rigged their own primary in 2020 for trying to turn on Bernie Sanders to get Joe Biden elected. Bernie Sanders had the most support than ever in 2016, if you take a look. Ideally, Sanders barely won any states. Why did he do that? That's because he was forced out of the race. You'll see Sanders showed his strongest campaign in 2016. That pretty much showed that, that scared the DNC, because the DNC thought, oh, this guy, this clown, he would lose. There's no way Bernie Sanders of the Democratic Party will elect a socialist. It's not more about electing a socialist. In fact, you could make an argument that Joe Biden's a socialist, Barack Obama is a socialist. It's that Bernie Sanders is challenging their power. Bernie Sanders has made it clear that he's against their establishment, and it's really that this establishment, which includes Hillary Clinton and a bunch of rich elitists, they didn't like that. So they got a scare of their life when Hillary Clinton almost fell to Bernie Sanders, 43.1% of the popular vote. So they tried extra hard to make sure that Bernie Sanders didn't have a chance. Bernie Sanders, by fact, did way better in 2020, despite only getting 26% and getting trounced by double digits. It's because the Democrats rigged the primary against him. Joe Biden couldn't fill the rallies as Bernie did. Obviously, this was a rigged primary against him. You'll see he was leading all the way through, but it was really that March 2020 when the primaries really kicked out. And then look at this. That's because everyone dropped out and endorsed Biden because they didn't want a 2016 scenario to happen. That's how dirty the Democratic Party is. The Democratic Party has tampered with elections that they either won or lost. 2012 was okay. You had an elitist Barack Obama already running things. 2008, same deal. But 2004, John Kerry, he challenged the election results. Al Gore in 2000 challenged the electoral results. But obviously, and they throw their tantrum about the Electoral College. And we need support the Electoral College because Democrats, they see the Electoral College as a blockbuster to obtaining full power. If there was no such thing as the Electoral College, Al Gore would have been president right now. Al Gore won the popular vote. And ideally, they will make all the excuses in the world on why the Electoral College is racist and why it represents slaves. They do the fifth person, a percentage of a person, half a person compromise. I don't know how it works. But yada, 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 and that implicates in the Electoral College. Okay. So you're going to screw up the whole system because of that? Because you didn't like that The Electoral College has some racist roots. Guess what? Everything has racist roots. Everything. Everything. The country, United States, has racist roots. Every country in the world has racist roots. So, don't argue to me that you don't have racist roots. Oh, what am I talking about? I'm a white guy. Of course I have racist roots in the left's perspective, but this is and really it doesn't matter. They don't care about the fact that, this is allegedly, quote, quote, there's some sort of slave tactic in the Electoral College. They don't care about that. No, they care about the Electoral College because it's a blockbuster. A lot of Democrats were mad. They came out at mass, as you can see here, to Florida. No, they look pretty happy. They look pretty peaceful. And it was a different time back then. They're not looting things and setting things on fire like they would be. But obviously, this group looks a little riled. Yeah, they come up at mass. Okay, this group's Bush Cheney. But you get what I'm saying. They come out at mass, and after the election's over, they have a big fit about the Electoral College. It's so unfair! Well, here's the thing. It rarely does it happen, guys. Rarely does it happen when the winning candidate of the popular vote loses. Well, 2000 was the first time in over 100 years. The last time since 2000 where that sort of scenario played out was actually in 1888. Okay? 1888. Different Democratic Party. The Democratic Party was actually conservative, and it was actually the Republican Party that was liberal. And honestly, if I was around 1888, I would be a Democrat. Oh, you must hate slaves! You support slavery! You support segregation! No, not that. I just, personally, I admire Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland is my third favorite president. I love him. Today would be a Donald Trump supporter for sure. He is a Trump-like president in the state of New York. He is a big conservative. The Republican Party, it's getting better during this time, and rightfully so. It was woke. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have been woke. I mean, there's a time to be woke at different times of history, and slavery and segregation is definitely part, but when we go away from that, when we advance through time, wokeness should go away on that issue. And the Republican Party, rightfully so, is distancing themselves under the Harrison presidency from the wokeness. However, Harrison is a big social justice warrior. And however, the GOP has been very woke when it comes to women's suffrage. And then again, not saying that's wrong. How dare you call out women's suffrage? How dare you? You're a racist, you're a sexist. And no, rightfully so. But I support Grover Cleveland because I love his policies. I like the Democrats, Bourbon Democrats. I would define myself as a Bourbon Democrat, someone who supports Grover Cleveland. That's what they're called. Very conservative. Bourbon Democrats. Okay? So, yes. Classical liberalism, conservatism, merit system, anti-corruption, that's French, anti-imperialism, pro-gold standard, fiscal conservatism, Democratic Party. I would describe myself as a Bourbon Democrat. There's also silver Democrats, which obviously something totally different. I want to believe they're in support of William Jennings Bryan. He is much more, the silver Democrats are more left-wing. They are more populistic, left-wing. They follow the likes of Woodrow Wilson, William Jennings Bryan, James M. Cox from the 1920 election, those left-wing social sort of Democrats. While Bourbon or Golden Democrats, they are more in support of conservatives. So we got to go through a deep history of the Democrat Party and to see how the Democratic Party went from a mix of conservatism and liberalism to now far left woke extremism. How did it end up like this? You know, it started with Barack Obama. He honestly is the man to blame on this. He drove the party so far to the left. Everyone loved him because the Republican Party was actually the party of unpopularity. It was the big wart on the skin of the American people. Due to the Iraq War, the recession, the housing market crash, they were desperate. So they knew Barack Obama, very progressive, one of the most progressive presidents in the senators in the United States Senate. They didn't care though. They were in a desperate situation, similar to the 1932 election, where Herbert Hoover was so bad that they allegedly, what people accused Roosevelt of being a socialist. They didn't care. FDR's New Deal programs were called out as socialist-like. They kind of are, but they didn't care. They went on board with it. They cared less. And you could say the Democrats could make the same deal in this election. They're basically calling they can't though, because they're calling out their own BS. We were so bad, they can never admit that they were so bad that they elected a convicted felon. Here's the thing though, American people don't care about the convicted felon level. They know that Democrats, who are corrupt by the way, like you just said, convicted him wrongfully and blamed an insurrection on him, which wasn't. They also tried to kill him. They knew that this government is targeting him. So Americans, what do we do when we see someone being bullied? We stand up for that person, right? We stand up. So it's a human instinct that we stand up for people that are bullied. We call out the bullying. And that's what Americans did in 2024. They called out the bullying. And they like to make Donald Trump look like the bully. And yeah, we're not buying the left-wing crud. Really, Donald Trump has that personality where it does look like he's kind of being a bully. But with Canada and Mexico and the tariffs, no, he's just like, you just are so blind to realize that the United States is being pushed around like it's a dummy. Like it's a cushion. It's like, we're their own little boxing dummy. They go and push us around. They go hit us with their boxing gloves. No, we're not that. We're actually a country with dignity. And Donald J. Trump's trying to restore that. And we have to be firm. We got to be strong. But it's going to look mean, as the Democrats would like to say. But that's simply not the case. So obviously the Democrats are imploding. Let's see. There was a poll approval of the Democratic Party. I'm kind of interested because Democratic Party handed polling blow on heels of second. So yes, it says Democrats' unfavorability rating reaches new 16-year high as party keeps licking wounds following disastrous 2024. So obviously a huge turn of events here. I could play the Fox News clip here, but obviously huge turnout when it comes to this. Let's see what Fox has to say. Okay, this is an ad. But you get what I'm saying. But yes, you have Democrats are having an identity crisis, says former Biden-Harris campaign deputy communications director. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on in the Democratic Party. It's not even funny anymore. So let's go ahead and
do all of these things. What do you think now your party needs to do in terms of getting on board? Like, where do you find your identity now? Because he is shaping government.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the Democrats are having an identity crisis, and I think they're trying to figure out how.
Okay, it's freezing up. The computer's getting overwhelmed. Okay, we'll just have to
challenge some of these things. You'll see a bunch of legal groups posing lawsuits on some of the things like birthright citizenship, the DEI initiative, the firing of the IG inspector generals on Friday. So I think that people are going to start doing that. But I also think Democrats need to coalesce together and come up with a message that means something to the moderates to the middle of America, or we will continue to lose elections. And yes, Donald Trump has done a significant amount in the first 6 days, but we won't really see what these things are really doing for the American people until the midterms when people get to vote again.
Oh, I think we'll see some before that, because on that long list was forbidding so-called catch and release, priority to continue construction of a border wall. Climate and energy, he withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement, declared national energy emergency.
Okay, and of course the left and most importantly the European establishment is going to boo-hoo. Okay. My bad. Well, I was going to say the left was in the European establishment are going to boo-hoo, whine, and cry about it. Of course. So yeah, 16-year high for unfavorability. Democratic Party handed pulling blow on heels of second Trump term. The left, they were really hoping that once Trump got into office, everything would fall apart, as did in 2017. No, that's not the case. Sorry, because actually Americans realized, you know what, maybe we don't like Trump, but he's actually he's doing what he got into. He's doing what he was voted to do. Mass deportations, dragging people out of fish markets. Oh, that's the sensitive, that's the woke term, right? It's actually dragging criminals out of fish markets that shouldn't be in the fish market. Just saying. So obviously this is what it's looking like right now. But yes, I was going to mention Lindy Lee because she's an obstacle, but she's no longer working in the DFL. I mean, the Democratic Party. Reasons? I'll tell you why. Lindy Lee has been abused by her own party. Lindy Lee, a DNC staunch Biden supporter, raised billions for Kamala Harris. After she lost that election, Lindy Lee saw the capes come up on the Democrats' heads. Out of the sudden, the Democrats wearing white hoods began to assault Lindy Lee, calling her a Chinese spy. They called her a W word, I'm not going to say it. They also they made fun of her father, who was killed and mutilated by the Chinese Communist Party. And she was called out as a traitor. Many more. So much that Lindy Lee is being bashed on. Obviously, what provoked this? Lindy Lee did everything than what Ronna McDaniel didn't do. That's the thing. Lindy Lee was actually going to help the Democratic Party go onward. But without her, it seems that they don't have a chance. Oh, no, they have a chance because Lindy Lee, she supports Trump now. Yeah, because you drove her away. You took a broom and washed her away with it. Why did you do that? You caused this woman to defect to Trump. She's always been a moderate. Really, I don't see how you can be a moderate if you support Kamala Harris. But, and again, Lindy Lee, she's in a powerful position. She wants to keep her job. She always had that position, that belief of keeping men out of women's sports. But then again, you have that job, okay? So I wouldn't say Lindy Lee was a far leftist for supporting Kamala Harris. No. I think she knows the Democrats are very manipulative and they're very narcissistic. And that, okay, I need to keep that job. And then she snaps. Because actually, she actually wants to help the party go onward. She actually said, hey, let's actually move forward. So you see, Lindy Lee is an American political commentator and campaign advisor who served as the women's co-chair and Mid-Atlantic regional chair at the Democratic National Committee. Now a conservative, thanks because of Democrats and their BS. And she served on the Asian American outreach term for the Joe Biden 2020 presidential campaign. Once a vocal defender of the Biden administration, Lee became a critic of the Democratic Party after the 2024 United States presidential election. Lee serves as a political contributor for NBC News, Fox News, and MSNBC. I know MSNBC would want to have her on there. Lee hosted a weekly TV series, Listening with Lindy Lee, in 2018, which aired on cable television in the Philadelphia area. So you'll see Democratic 2008 to 2024. Yep, she left. She's not like a Democrat like Rod Blagojevich, who was the former governor of Illinois, who was thrown in jail by Democrats wrongfully because it seemed as if Blagojevich was actually interfering with their corrupt power in the state. Blagojevich stayed a part of the Democratic Party in Illinois. And honestly, I think he should leave. Despite supporting Trump aggressively and the Republican Party, Blagojevich is known as a Democrat in name only. You could say Bob Menendez! Bob Menendez is nowhere near the Republican. I mean, do you think Bob Menendez, who was convicted and thrown in jail, he's also in jail too. I think he's in jail now. But do you think Bob Menendez has the guts to leave the Democrat Party? The party that also threw him in jail? I mean, this is what they do. They throw their own politicians and say, oh, look, we're not politically biased. We're throwing people in jail. Whoop, with zero proof and evidence. I'm not defending Bob Menendez. Bob Menendez was convicted on a jury of his peers. I'm just saying, this is what they do. This is the grift. This is the strategy. But kudos to Lindy Lee. She has served by Donald Trump's side, helped with the inauguration. She's a part of the inauguration committee of Donald Trump. A woman who once raised $1 billion for Harris, months later, and raising money for her opponent because Kamala's narcissistic, selfish, deluded, and demented supporters, they don't really care about diversity. They paraded Lindy Lee by the fact that she was an immigrant. You can see she was born in Chengdu, China. They paraded her on that. She's a person of color. She's also a woman. They paraded her on that. But right when she said, oh, hang on, guys, hang on, and she gave beef on the Democrats, hey, look, you screwed up big. You're a Trump supporter! No! And this is the thing, guys. Democrats hate it when they get backlash. They hate it. They hate when their leader calls them out on their bull. Look, guys, you screwed up in 2024. They go and throw her under the bus. Republicans, though, giving them credit, give my own side credit. We have the opposite. Ronna McDaniel, what did she do when we lost 2023? What are you talking about? We didn't lose 2023. We clearly did. We clearly did. Ronna, we lost Kentucky. 2019. Let's give some let's bring some PTSD of what happened. 2019 was expected. It was supposed to be better than 2019 for us. It was supposed to be a nail biter. What happened? Bashir flipped the Appalachian counties. He flipped pretty much more counties. Seriously? Daniel Cameron, the beloved Attorney General, did worse than the disgraced GOP governor, Matt Bevin. Are you kidding me? And here's Ronna McDaniel. Good job, guys. We did it. We did it. Great job. And not only that, let's take a look at Mississippi. It was a miracle how we managed to win in that race. And she'll go, well, at least Tate Reeves, who's historically very unpopular, won. I mean, duh. What are you talking about? Look at Cook Political Report, leading Republican. Inside Elections, leading Republican. Likely, Sabutu's Crystal Ball, likely Republican. Elections Daily, likely Republican. What was the actual result? Republican +3. Guys, this is Mississippi. Tilting for Republicans? And here's Ronna McDaniel. Good job, guys. We did a great job. Good job. And probably the bitter of it all was the 2023 Virginia Senate races, in which Republicans were surging in regards to the turnout. They thought that we could obviously establish a trifecta in Virginia. It was needed so that we could boost morale in the state to go into 2024. And what happened? We lost that race. Democrats lost a seat. Republicans gained 2 seats, but they still won the Senate. Good job! Good job, everyone! And everyone calls her to resign. Vivek rightfully called out McDaniel for her BS statements on the races and on the third GOP debate. Very correct and likely. Although Democrats will go, oh, they're mistreating that Ronna McDaniel because she's a woman. You don't understand how hard it is to be a woman in league. No, Ronna McDaniel was just so bad. She didn't know how to run money. Lindy Lee obviously knows how to do her job. She raised $1 billion. She is a strong candidate. And what did the Democrats do? They threw her away like a used condom. Bye. Lindy Lee didn't want to leave. Oh, yeah, Lindy Lee didn't want to join the Republican Party. I don't think she will. Lindy Lee she was a proud Democrat. But when Lindy Lee does the total opposite of what, and rightfully so, than Ronna McDaniel does, shame on you, Lindy. You're really bad. Shame on Lindy Lee. She's so bad. Guess what she does? Okay, I'll take my money somewhere else. Works every time. And now you have a new person. And that is Ken Martin, who is no different than Tim Walz. Supports tampons in men's bathrooms. I don't think he has Mao Zedong aspirations. I won't be surprised if he does. The left loves Mao Zedong. At least Lindy Lee actually hates Mao Zedong. She hates Mao Zedong because Mao Zedong was responsible of killing her father, which obviously is understandable. But how dare you hate Mao? I'm not accusing Democrats. We can't be hypocritical. I was going to say, how dare you hate Mao Zedong? We're going to throw you out. No. We are not going to participate in that. We can't compare our opponents to dictators. We learned in 2024 that doesn't suit well to the American people, and that's how we do. That's how we fix our mistakes. Don't double down on it, but have Democrats have stopped doubling down on their TDS? No. No. I'm telling you. I think the Democrat Party is done. I mean, really. The American people are in great discontent, unless Donald Trump is so bad, and I don't think he will be. I think it's a golden age. I think Republicans will control the White House for 4 presidential election terms. Republicans are leading Democrats in the most won presidential elections. Republicans won the most presidential elections than any other political party, but just the lead is very small, like 3 elections. Just 2020 and 2020, no, just before the 2024 election, Republicans were leading Democrats by 2 election victories. That's the net worth of the most presidential elections won. The margin is pretty small. Obviously, you could say Democrats are done with their lunacy. You'll have Nevada, although it's a very small white working class non-college degree state, which I obviously thought, hey, why isn't this a red state? It looks like it's becoming a red state. It's actually behaving like a red state, and really Nevada, yeah, it's always been a red state. That's the thing. It's just when Obama came around, Nevada, which was badly impacted by the Bush administration, had a hard time adapting. Like, they rushed to Democrats the most. We saw that. They voted solidly for Barack Obama. They stayed with Obama in 2012. It got to even out. Then again, they're forgetting about that Bush era. But due to the 2017, the Trump era, that unpopularity of Donald Trump, Nevada goes for Biden. But I think they're going back right on track of being the red state. I really do. I think it takes a tragic administration in order to get Nevada to flip back to the other side. But what do you guys think in regards of this video? Let me know down below on what you guys think about the Democratic Party. Is it going in the right direction? Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next political episode.